श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन जू की जाय। नित्य लीला प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शत शिशिमार भक्ति वेदांत नारायण गोसाई महाराज श्री गुरुदेव की जाय। नित्य लीला प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शत शिशिमार भक्ति वेदांत वामन गोसाई महाराज की जाय। नित्य लीला प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शत शिशिमार भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की जाय। नित्य प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शत शिशिमार भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोसाई महाराज की जाय। नित्य प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शत शिशिमार भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोसाई प्रभुपाद की जाय। नित्य प्रविष्ट महाभागवत श्री गोरक्षरस बाबूजी महाराज की जाय। नित्य प्रविष्ट श्री सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जाय। नित्य प्रविष्ट वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथ दास बाबूजी महाराज की जाय। श्री रूपनु गौरिया गुरु वार्ग की जाय। श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्टदास रघुनाथ चार गोसाई प्रभु की जाय। श्री स्वरूप दामोदर राय रामानंदारी श्री गौर पार्षद वृंद की जाय। नाम अक्षय श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जाय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जाय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौर मंडल व्रज मंडल मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जाय। सर्व अभिष्ट प्रदात गिरिराज महाराज की जाय। श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड की जाय। श्री यमुना देवी गंगा देवी की जाय। श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जाय। श्री भक्ति देवी की जाय। श्री पूर्णमासी योगमाया की जाय। श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जाय। श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जाय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जाय। समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जाय। श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंद। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जाय। श्री रास-पाñcādhyayī की जाय। श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जाय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जाय। श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय राधिकाय प्रियात्मने श्रीमद्भक्तिवेदान्त नारायणति नामिने। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। कुरवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकायै तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। यं प्रव्रजन्तमनुपेतमपेतकृत्यं द्वैपायनो विरहकातर आजुहाव पुत्रेति तन्मयतया तरवोऽभिनेदुस्तं सर्वभूतहृदयं मुनिमानतोऽस्मि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। शृण्वतां स्वकथा कृष्ण पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तना हृदन्तस्थो यभद्राणि विधुनोति सुहृत्सतं नष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भगवत सेया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टकी। तवैवास्मि न जीवामि त्वया विना इति विज्ञाय राधे त्वां नायमां चरणान्तिकम्। भक्त्या विहीना अपराधलक्षाय क्षिप्ताष्टकामादितरङ्गमध्ये कृपामयि त्वं शरणं प्रपन्ना वृन्दे नमस्ते चरणारविन्दम्। भज श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर Shrivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrindam. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Let's see. Dandavat pranams, Haribo, Raseshwari Mataji, Ganga Mataji, Madhavi Didi, Gargaraj ji. Hare Krishna, everybody. Okay, so let's go. I'm just going to read the previous verses. Chapter 1 ended like this. Bhagavan Śrī Kṛṣṇa threw his around the Vrajasundaris and embraced them, pressed their palms, touched their braids, thighs, waists, and breasts, joked with them, playfully scratched them with his fingernails, delightfully glanced at them, and laughed with them. In this way he aroused their transcendental lusts, the supremely glorious erotic prema, and gave them pleasure by sporting with them. Being so highly honored by Śrī Kṛṣṇa, the Supreme Lord and Supreme Lover, the Gopis became proud, and each one considered herself the finest woman in the world. Śrī Keshav observes that these Vrajramanis were overly proud due to their good fortune, and were now exhibiting man also. In order to quell their pride and satisfy them by dispelling their indignation, he suddenly disappeared from their assembly. Sri Shukadev Goswami said, "O Parikshit, Bhagavan Śrī Kṛṣṇa suddenly disappeared. When the Vraj Sundaris did not see him, they became like a herd of female elephants who have lost their mate. In the gopis' hearts, the fire of separation burst into flames. In this way, Krishna's beloved Vraj Sundaris, the lovely damsels of Vraj, became like him, copying all his mannerisms, his carefree way of walking, his sweet laughing smile, his infatuating glances, and his ambrosial words. The moods underlying all of Krishna's inviting gestures infiltrated the gopis' bodies, and they became maddened. Remembering his amorous pastimes, they took on his nature, and as they mimicked his amorous activities, they avowed, 'I am Krishna.' When the gopis' absorption in Śrī Kṛṣṇa subsided a bit, their mood also changed. All together, they loudly sang about Śrī Kṛṣṇa's qualities and became intoxicated. In this mood, they started searching for their beloved, going from one forest to another, looking in every dense thicket. O Parikshit, Bhagavan Śrī Kṛṣṇa, like the sky, is everywhere, pervading inside and outside all the inert and conscious objects. He was not far away from them, but the gopis, not seeing him in their midst, asked the trees and creepers where he was. The Vraj Devis first went to the very large trees and asked, 'Hey Ashvata, sacred berry tree. Hey Plaksha, holy fig tree. Hey Nyagruda, banyan tree. Nanda Nandan Sham Sundar has stolen our minds with his love-filled smiles and glances, and has absconded them. He has absconded our minds.' No, he's absconded with them. Sorry, guys. Have you seen him? O Kurabaka tree, O Ashoka, O Nagakeshara, Punaga, and Champa, that younger brother of Balaram, Śrī Kṛṣṇa Chandra, who mitigates the impertinence of all haughty women with just his sweet, gentle smile, has he passed this way?" When the male trees did not reply, the gopis inquired for the female brushes. "O sister Tulsi, your heart is so soft, and you desire everyone's welfare. You have so much prema for the lotus feet of Govinda, and he loves you so much. And he also loves you so much. Therefore, he always wears your garland surrounded by bumblebees over his heart. Have you seen our beloved Sham Sundar, who never fails to display his loving nature?" Now the Vrajramanis are asking the fragrant jasmine creepers and bushes, "Hey Malita, Malika, Chameli, Jati, and Juhi, Did our beloved Madhav pass here and elate you by picking your fragrant flowers and touching you with his soft hands? Now the Vrajdevis asked the fruit trees, Hey Rasala, Priyala, Kotahala, jackfruit, Pitashala, Kanchanara, Jambu, rose apple, Arka, bel, Mola, siri, Amra, mango, Kadamba, Nipa, and other exalted trees on the Yamuna's bank? All of you live just for the welfare of others. Our lives are empty without Śrī Kṛṣṇa, so please tell us where he is. Okay, so now we come to verse 10. 1 second, just checking. Hare Krishna, Indira Mataji, Prajumna Prabhu, Mantaramurti Mataji, Yashoda Didi, and Sudevi Didi. Dandavat pranams, all of you. Gargarajji, Hare Krishna. Okay. Kim te kritam kshiti tapo batake shavangri sparshot sabot pulakitangam nahar vibhasi apyangri sambhava urukrama vikramarva aho varaha vapusha parirambanena. O beloved of Bhagavan, Prithvi Devi, Earth Goddess, what sort of austerities have you performed that you attained the touch of Śrī Krishna's lotus feet and thus became so blissful that you began horripilating in the form of the grasses sprouting up, making you look very beautiful? Are you feeling this bliss from Śrī Keshav touching you now with his lotus feet? Or maybe it arose earlier when Vamandev became Trivikram and stepped on you. Or did you feel it much earlier when Varahadev embraced you and thereby protected you? Srila Śrīdhara Swami Pad, Bhāvārtha Dīpikā. Hey Prithvi Devi, what sort of austerities have you performed? What sort of austerities have you performed that you have now been blessed with the festive touch of Śrī Keshav's lotus feet? This caused you to horripilate in great bliss, making you look very beautiful. The Gopīs asked this with a specific intention. Are you feeling this bliss from Śrī Keshav touching you now with his lotus feet? Or perhaps it arose earlier when Vamandev became Trivikram and measured you with his steps. Not only this, perhaps you felt it much earlier when Varahadev embraced you. Because you are so qualified to attain this good fortune, you must have seen Śrī Keshav. So please show us where he is. Srila Jīva Gosvāmī Pad, Vaiṣṇava Toṣaṇī. Meditating on the path that Śrī Kṛṣṇa took, the Gopīs wanted to pray to it. Thus, they looked at Prithvi Devi and thought, this Prithvi is present everywhere. Therefore, she must have received Krishna's darshan. By seeing the tender grass sprouting on the earth, the Gopīs understood that she was horripilating in bliss due to the festive touch of Śrī Kṛṣṇa's lotus feet. This indicates that Prithvi was the recipient of extreme good fortune, which the Gopīs described in this verse beginning with Kim. Hey Prithvi Devi, what sort of tapasya did you perform that you have attained such auspiciousness? Tapa here is understood as pious deeds. Apyangri Sambhava. This means the arising of a festival due to the touch of his lotus feet. Api Kim. Has your festival of bliss manifested from the touch of Śrī Kṛṣṇa's lotus feet? When Vishnu became Vamandev, wanting to take over the three worlds, he manifested his supreme opulence and assumed his Trivikram form. And when he took possession of the three worlds, he placed his feet on you. Is that when you experienced the festival of bliss? The beauty you displayed when horripilating at that time was not as special as now. So perhaps you are horripilating due to having had direct union with him, when he assumed his Mahavaraha form to protect you. The Gopis express these ideas in the last line beginning with aho, or perhaps. Aho, before this, is it due to the embrace of Varahadev? In this way, the Gopis wondered what austerities Prithvi had performed to attain the touch of Sri Keshav's lotus feet. Is being touched by Vamandev's feet the reason you have attained the touch of Sri Keshav's lotus feet? Or did you accrue so much good fortune when previously Varahadev embraced you, and you are now experiencing a festival of bliss from the touch of Śrī Kṛṣṇa's lotus feet? Please tell us which one. This indicates that Śrī Kṛṣṇa's position is much more exalted than Vamandev's and Varahadev's. Thus, how can we tolerate the separation from such an exalted person? O earth, you are supremely fortunate because you have touched his lotus feet. But we are so unfortunate that we have not had the same chance. Therefore, please be merciful to us and show us the path he has taken. Śrīla Viśvanātha Cakravartī Thakur's Sārārtha Darśinī. One Saki said to the others, these trees must be completely absorbed in meditating on Vishnu, and hence they are not able to answer our question. Or perhaps they are not responding to us because they are hard-natured. They are hard-natured, as residents of the holy places generally are. Alas, how can we determine which ones know Śrī Kṛṣṇa's location? It is uncertain. So why are we uselessly blaming the residents of the holy place? One who has surely seen him will know where he is. Therefore, it behooves us to ask that person. All the others asked her, "Hey, Priyasaki, is there anyone here who has seen Krishna? Do you know that person? And if you know, please tell us." Upon the request of all of them, she pointed to the earth. Then all the gopis replied, "O Saki, you are speaking the truth. Wherever Śrī Kṛṣṇa may go, it will be on this earth, so he is never distant from her. Krishna's parents, friends, dear Sakis, and servants, on the other hand, sometimes have to endure the pain of separation from him. But Prithvi is never apart from Krishna. Therefore, compared to all others, the earth is so fortunate. We will not ask the earth in the same way that we inquired from the trees and plants before. Instead of asking Krishna's whereabouts, it is better to inquire from her about the austerity she performed very long ago, resulting in her present good fortune. Due to the fruit of those ancient austerities, she is spared from undergoing the pain of separation from Śrī Kṛṣṇa now. If we can do those same pious deeds, we also will be relieved from the anguish of our separation. Deliberating in this way, the gopis asked Prithvi Devi about her austerities in this verse beginning with Kim. Hey, Prithvi Devi, what tapasya has brought about this good fortune by which you are enjoying the great festival of touching Sri Keshav's lotus feet? We can understand that you are relishing a festival of bliss by seeing your tender grasses sprouting up in response to your rapture. Sri Kṛṣṇa cannot be without you for a moment. Wherever he goes, you are always in contact with his feet. In this way, day and night, you are rolling in the joy of associating with Sri Kṛṣṇa. Therefore, you are vastly more fortunate than us. Tell us what tapasya you performed to achieve this blessing. We are languishing in separation. We never attained the good fortune that you are enjoying. If we simply hear about your austerities, we will become successful." Seeing the earth silent, the gopis remembered her history and inquired, "When Sri Bhagavan Vamandev assumed his Trivikram form and put his feet on your body, you were able to tolerate the burden of holding his feet. Is it by that austerity that you have now received the good fortune of touching Sri Kṛṣṇa's lotus feet? Or is it due to the austerity of having previously endured the pain of Varahadev's overly tight embrace? To attain this festival of great bliss, One must perform austerities and practices that others find difficult. But for you, this was easy, because, being a female, it was pleasurable for you to get the association of a man. So how can any woman be more fortunate than you? Apyena apyena patnyupagata priyayeha gatrais tanvandrishan sakisu nirvritam achyuto va kantanga sanga kucha kunkumaranjitaya kundasraja kulapateri havati gandaha. O dear friends, has Achyuta, who is eternally fixed in his loving nature, passed this way with his sweetheart, giving your eyes the supreme bliss of the sight of the heart-capturing and beautiful sweetness of his body? We feel that he must have taken this path because we are picking up the scent of the enchanting fragrance of his kunda garland, which swings over his heart and which is now smeared with the kumkum from the breast of his beloved. Śrīla Swāmīpada Bhāvārtha Dīpikā. This verse beginning with Api, indicating an inquiry, the Gopīs, upon seeing the doe's happy eyes, thought that perhaps they had seen Krishna. Hey Saki, wife of the deer, Gokul-pati Śrī Kṛṣṇa, with his beautiful face, arms, and other limbs, come to the forest. Wait. Let me read this. Sorry, guys. Hey Saki, wife of the deer, has Gokul-pati Śrī Kṛṣṇa, with his beautiful face, arms, and other limbs, come to the forest with his beloved and given pleasure to your eyes? The phrase "with his beloved" clearly indicates that they can sense the fragrance coming from Krishna's kunda garland, and it is mixed with the scent of the kumkum from his beloved's breasts. Śrīla Jīva Gosvāmī Pad Vaiṣṇava Toṣaṇī. Now a special topic will be discussed. Śrī Shukadeva Goswami said, taking someone with him, Śrī Bhagavan disappeared. It is not clearly mentioned with which beloved he went. This will be disclosed later on. In this verse, Śrī Shukadeva Goswami reveals his inner mood. Śrī Bhagavan has many incarnations, but I, Śrī Shukadeva, am especially attracted to Swayam Bhagavan Śrī Krishna's descent. In Śrī Krishna's descent. In turn, Śrī Bhagavan has many associates, but I have a special attachment to the Vrajavasis, and out of all of them, I am exceptionally drawn towards the Vrajadevis. This confidential fact is common knowledge, but hardly anyone knows that, out of all the Vrajadevis, Srimati Radhika attracts me the most. The gradation of my attachment is according to the level of the devotee's superiority. My heart is hesitant to directly tell about Sri Radhika's superiority, her position being so highly secret. However, knowing her superior position and failing to describe it, I would be at fault for hiding this knowledge. Speared by this fear, I wish to reveal it. With Radhika, who is the prominent of the Vrajdevis, Krishna always performs supremely confidential pastimes. Śrī Shukadeva was most attracted by these leelas, but he has not mentioned them anywhere. Therefore, no one knows about them. There is a gradation among the devotees in the level of their according to the level of prema, and this determines their superiority. This in turn ordains Shukadeva Goswami's affection for them. This confidential lila is appropriate only for devotees who have taken shelter of Madhur Ras. It is not suitable for devotees in Shanta and other rasas. Śrī Shukadeva Goswami was hesitant to openly describe these confidential pastimes because of the presence of some unqualified persons in the audience. Furthermore, even among those who are in Madhur Ras, there are many different levels of eligibility. However, to not mention this in front of the qualified listeners would be a fault of hiding the knowledge, and thus he desired to reveal these confidential pastimes also. Therefore, when Sri Radhika's Saki said, "O wives of the deer, did Krishna come this way with his sweetheart?" They did not. When they said this, they did not clearly mention Radhika's name. Every now and then, whenever given an opportunity, I will indirectly, through Vyanjana Vritti, indirect suggestion, reveal this through the words of the opposite party, Chandravali. Or sometimes, being deeply absorbed, I may openly reveal the secret, but I will not speak her name directly. To mention Radhika's name is far away, and it is unlikely that I will mention the other gopis' names either. Furthermore, through Vyanjana Vritti, when ulterior meanings are implied, many different rasas can be revealed, but the direct meaning cannot do that. Sometimes, by speaking indirectly, very astonishing meanings emerge. When the subject to be conveyed is determined and its meaning is manifested indirectly, then an astonishing ecstasy is evinced. The meaning expressed indirectly can produce a very special taste, which is more astonishing than what is conveyed by direct explanation. With this intention, Shukadeva Goswami revealed this topic through Radhika's Swapaksha Sakis. When Sri Krishna took Sri Radhika and suddenly disappeared, Radhika's Sakis had a suspicion. It seems that Sri Krishna disappeared, taking our Sri Radha with him. But the gopis who did not know the secret were only eager to look for Balaram's younger brother, Sri Krishna. Sri Radhika's Sakis were roaming together with all the other Sakis, but they separated from them, even in their intoxicated condition, and formed their own group to search for Radha Krishna Yugal. Even though Radhika's Swapaksha Sakis were in a small separate party, the others did not realize from the behavior of her Sakis that this smaller group was looking for Sri Yugal. They thought the smaller group was also looking only for Krishna. The Swapaksha gopis already suspected that their dear Saki was with Sri Krishna, even before seeing his footprints. This is chronicled in verses 32 to 33 of this chapter. This verse, Apyena Patni, is the evidence. O friends, wives of the deer, has our Achyuta passed this way with his beloved, satisfying your eyes? In this verse, all the words indicate that Sri Krishna disappeared with Sri Radha. Those Sakis were eager to have the darshan of Sri Yugal, not just Sri Krishna by himself. Therefore, in this mood, Radhika's Sakis asked about Shri Radha Krishna using the word priyaya, meaning with his beloved. Api means possibly, or maybe. Maybe the couple has come this way. Api can be an interrogative, in which case the meaning would be, "Hey, Saki, did Achyuta come to you?" The does may ask, Shri Krishna is Van Vihari. He roams about the forest, and we are Vanachari, forest dwellers. Therefore, what is so surprising if our paths cross? This is why the Saki said, "He came with his sweetheart. Very often he comes here alone, but this time he came with his beloved. It is astonishing that he came with her, and seeing them together gives great happiness." Gatrai, by the bodily limbs. When he is with Sri Radha, many different anubhavs, external signs of ecstasy, decorate his body, indicating the supreme bliss he is experiencing. Seeing his condition when he is with Radhaji is the supreme pleasure for the eyes of Radhika's Swapaksha gopis. And you doze. It is highly likely that Krishna, who is radiating bliss, has come your way. If this is the case, is it not proper for you to hide this from us? We are his intimate, because we are his intimate and rightful companions. Just by his scent alone, we can know everything about him. Having this mood, the gopi said Kantanga, the body of his beloved. First comes Gokulpati Krishna's fragrance, then the fragrance of his kundamala, which is mixed with the kumkum that got smeared from the breast of his beloved when he embraced her. All these scents are coming clearly. And we recognize these aromas for certain, because we have encountered them many, many times. The forest air is permeated with the fragrance of the body of Śrī Kṛṣṇa's sweetheart, and the scent of the kumkum from her breast combined with the aroma of kundamala. The does, whose eyes are filled with pleasure, are feeling supreme bliss from having the darshan of Śrī Kṛṣṇa, enjoying with his beloved. The observer, the act of seeing the object of sight, the divine couple roaming in the forest, all three are equally praiseworthy. Radhika's Swapaksha Gopis concur with this. The observer, the act of seeing, and the object of sight are all praiseworthy. The first line of the verse, starting with Api, expresses the Gopis' enthusiasm, mixed humility and politeness. Ena Patni, wife of the deer. The does have a very natural and beautiful way of seeing, drishti. This is to be praised. The wives of the deer, although not married according to religious rites, are married only by their anurag, their love for each other. But this is also accepted as legitimate. Here, drishta, the observer, is the doe. And although she is not married by religious rites, she is to be praised. Due to this, Śrī Kṛṣṇa has come close to the does, upagata, and by this word, the good fortune of the observer, the wives of the deer, is highlighted. Furthermore, Śrī Kṛṣṇa came with his beloved. This is what the does are witnessing. And the object of sight, drishya, Shri Radha and Krishna, is also praised. The word agatrai indicates an uncommon sight of the divine couple's meeting, due to which the eyes were elated with the topmost joy and are thus extensively glorified. As quoted previously, the gopis asked, "O doe friend, did Achyuta come this way with his sweetheart?" The suggested meaning of Achyuta is that Krishna entered here with his beloved spontaneously. So again, the drishya is praised. Va is the plural form of you, meaning that the doe's companions are included. Sorry. Hey Hirani, oh doe, you are most fortunate for you, and so you should be praised. Likewise, your companions are also praiseworthy. In this way, with the word va, drishta, the observer, is also praised. Next comes Kanta, his beloved. With this drishya, his beloved is praised. Taranga Sangha refers to Kanta Krishna, who is ardent embracing his beloveds. This phrase glorifies this rarely seen drishya. Sorry, 1 second. A series of drishyas are cited, and all are to be extolled. Kucha Kumkuma, the kumkuma on the gopi's breast, Ranjita, colored, the naturally white kunda flowers in the kunda mala have been colored by the kucha kumkum. Kula Pater Iha, the master of the gopis, are Drishya Kanta. Iha means this place, which is aromatic from the extraordinary fragrance of the kundamala. Vati, air, the air flowing around filled with the fragrance. Gandha, fragrance, the combined aroma of the kundamala crushed in their embrace and smeared with kumkum. All these objects of sight, drishya, are glorified. Srila Viśvanātha Cakravartī Thakur's Sārārtha Darśinī. The Vraj Devis were inquiring about Śrī Kṛṣṇa from Prithvi Devi, but they did not get any answer. They thought, alas, Prithvi is wonderfully painted with the signs from her beloved Śrī Kṛṣṇa's lotus feet, flag, thunderbolt, goad, etc. Thus, she is taking pleasure as the Swadhina Bhatrika. Swadhina Bhartrika, having brought her husband under her control. Now she has become blind by extreme pride, so she will not acknowledge us. Thinking thus, the gopis moved forward and saw a doe roaming around. They pointed at her and said, "Hey, Saki, wife of the deer, did Śrī Kṛṣṇa pass by you with his beloved?" Addressing the doe as Saki, the gopis implied, "Although you are the wife of the deer, you are also the beloved of Śrī Kṛṣṇa, like us, and you also consider him as your sweetheart. Therefore, surely Śrī Kṛṣṇa must have come here. Did the sight of his charming form increase the pleasure of your eyes?" The word drishyam, sight here, is used in the plural form to show respect. Achyuta, with the desire to increase the pleasure of your eyes, you walk behind him. Therefore, Krishna never disappears, vichyuta, from your sight. This is the mood that has been expressed here. After watching the does who were walking ahead in their natural gait, the gopis suddenly said, "Yes, surely they have seen Krishna, and they are replying to us. There is no need to say more. We will show him to you. Just follow us." As the does continue to walk ahead, they keep turning their heads back to us, beckoning us to follow them. The trees may be cruel to us, but in this Vrindavan, these does are merciful, and it behooves us to follow them. However, when the gopis lost sight of the does, they thought, "They gave us an indication, but they did not show us. They did not show him to us, and now they have left." One Saki said, "If this is so, Śrī Kṛṣṇa is certainly hiding nearby." Fearing him, these does have disappeared to save themselves from any blame they might incur in revealing his presence. These gopis were thinking in this way when suddenly they detected the aroma of Śrī Kṛṣṇa's body. In great delight, they exclaimed, "Saki! Certainly, Śrī Kṛṣṇa is hiding in this forest because the air is laden with his scent." Elated, they again used the word kantanga, meaning, "We can smell Kulapati Śrī Kṛṣṇa's kunda flower garland, which has been smeared with the kumkum from his beloved's breast during their embrace." Here, the bodies of the two lovers, the kumkum from her breast and his kunda flower garland, the aromas of these three entered the noses of the gopis. Thus, they can conclude Krishna's presence there. This is the mood here. He is Kulapati, the enjoyer of all the gopis. Yet he has given up his Kulapati Nishta, his identity as the master of all, and is enjoying with only one gopi. Just look at his injustice. What verse are we reading up to? I'm just checking. 13. Okay. Hare Krishna Yashji and Raj Bhuvan Yadav and Champak Didi, Shash Sharmaji and Gopi Kanta Prabhu. Bahum Priyangsa Upadhaya Grihita Parma Ramanujastula Sikali Kular Madandhai Aviyamana Ihavastarava Pranamam Kim Vabhinandati Charan Pranayavalokai. O trees, it seems that Balaram's younger brother, our beloved Shamsundar, has walked by here, followed by bees intoxicated from the fragrance of Tulsi Manjaris, holding a lila kamal in his right hand, and resting his left hand on the shoulder of his beloved. It seems you have bowed down to offer respects to him. Has he acknowledged your obeisances with his loving glance? Śrīla Swamipad's Bhāvārtha Dīpikā. Seeing the trees bending over with the weight of their fruits, the gopis presume that they have bowed down due to seeing Krishna, who is walking past them while dallying with his beloved. This is the meaning of this verse, beginning with Bahum. Furthermore, the bees, intoxicated and blinded with the scent of tulsi, are chasing after the smell. Śrīla Jīva Gosvāmī's Vaiṣṇava Toṣaṇī. The Vrajdevis inquired from the does several times about Śrī Kṛṣṇa, but the animals did not reply. When the does continued to look on silently, the Vrajdevis suspected that their silence was due to commiserating with the Gopis' anguish. What's commiserating mean? That means express or feel sympathy or pity, sympathizing. They have observed our distress born of separation. Therefore, they are numb. With this thought, the Vrajdevis left them and moved on. After some distance, they saw that all the trees were bowing down from the weight of their fruits and flowers. The Gopis, thinking that the trees were reverentially and humbly offering pranam at Krishna's lotus feet, inquired from them in this verse Bahum. The Swapaksha Gopis praised Radha and Krishna in this verse also, thereby indirectly confirming that they were roaming about together. O trees, has Balaram's younger brother, with his arm on the shoulder of his beloved, come here? And has he welcomed your respectful greeting with his deep, loving glance? In this way, one second. Oh, okay. Sorry, I mispronounced that word. Thanks, Shri Mataji. O trees, has Balaram's younger brother, with his arm on the shoulder of his beloved, come here, and has he welcomed your respectful greeting with his deep, loving glance? In this way, besides glorifying Krishna's affectionate glance, the gopis were indicating the tree's eligibility to accept Śrī Kṛṣṇa's mercy flowing from his loving glance and praised their excellence. If it is asked why Krishna might not reciprocate the tree's respectful greeting, this question is answered by the gopis suggesting as the reason that he was too absorbed in sweet dalliance with his beloved. The gopis, being Radha and Krishna's intimate companions, knew all about their attributes and activities, and thus simply by picking up their scent, they asked, has Śrī Kṛṣṇa come here with his left arm resting on his beloved's shoulder, and has he accepted your respects? The general reason for Baladev's younger brother not acknowledging the tree's welcome may be that, due to roaming around for a long time, he was impatient to reach the pastime place. The trees might ask, they are always roaming about in this area, and see us here. What is so special today? The gopis reply, the special thing today is that as he is roaming around, he is keeping his hand on the tender shoulder of his beloved, who is exclusively devoted to him. The trees might further inquire, we've come in the forest to behold the beauty of the trees and the creepers, so will they not accept our greeting with a loving glance? The gopis answered, swarms of intoxicated bees, attracted by the fragrant smell of the tulsi in Krishna's garlands, are hovering around his beloved. Now, being absorbed in brushing them away from her body with the lila kamal in his right hand, his mind will not go anywhere else. If this is so, how will he respond to your respects? Tulasi Kali Kula. This phrase is used to express the excellence of Tulasi's fragrance that pervades Krishna's forest playground. Srimad Bhagavatam 10:35-10 also praises Tulsi by stating that swarms of bees drink Tulsi's divine honey-like aroma and become intoxicated. Madandai. Even though they lose their power of sight from drinking Tulsi's scent, they continue to follow Krishna. This indicates the special aroma arising from the Tulsi garland rubbing against Krishna's body. In the verse at hand, only Tulsi has been mentioned, but in the previous verse, 10:29-44, we find the words Ma'alam Bribrad Vajayantim. meaning that Krishna entered the dance arena wearing a Vaijanti garland. Again, in Srimad Bhagavatam 10:37, we find glorification of Tulasi with Krishna wearing a Tulasi garland. The previous verse, verse 11, states that Krishna was wearing a kundmala. 3 different kinds of garlands have been mentioned, but in the course of their play, the Vaijanti and Kund garlands have fallen down. So in the present verse, only the Tulsi garland is named. This indicates how Krishna enjoyed with his beloved, meaning that the garlands got crushed when they embraced each other very tightly. With this verse, Srimati Radhika's Swapaksha Gopīs praise the divine couple's enjoyment together. Verse 30 of this chapter says, Tasya amuni nag shobham. Seeing the footprints of this fortunate gopi disturbs our minds. These words spoken by the Vipaksha Gopis in a mood of contrariety also establish the same idea. Śrīla Viśvanātha Cakravartī Thakur's Sārārtha Darśinī. In this verse, Bahum, the gopis, observing the trees bowing from the weight of their fruits, assumes that they were offering their respects to Krishna. The gopis assumed that the trees were offering respects to Krishna. Thus, after some discussion, the cowherd maidens concluded that Śrī Kṛṣṇa must be nearby. O trees, you are Krishna's subjects, and you pay your taxes with your fruits and flowers. While roaming around here, has he accepted your respects with a loving glance? Alas, alas, he does not have time to give us a loving glance to gentle saints like you. He doesn't have time to give a loving glance to gentle saints like you. Thinking thus, the gopis referred to their sweetheart as Ramanuja, Balaram's younger brother, as Balaram's state of intoxication is well known in the Bhagavad. With feelings, So at this, thinking thus, the gopis referred to their sweetheart as Ramanuja, with feelings of envy. The suggested meaning in this verse is that Krishna is inebriated, matta, and has been very weak and languid due to having shared intimacies with his beloved. So he is resting with his left hand on his sweetheart's tender shoulder, using it for a pillow. With the blue lotus in his right hand, he is brushing away the intoxicated, impatient bees that have left the Tulsi garden and are now hovering around her face, being attracted to its fragrance. He is occupied in serving the lotus face. He is occupied in serving the lotus face of his beloved, and thus he cannot give his attention to you trees. Therefore, we understand that he is hiding somewhere close by, enjoying with her. Should we also follow the bees? Therefore, they are saying madandai, blinded with intoxication. But it is not proper for respectable persons to follow anyone who is so maddened and out of control. The gopis thought, Krishna is completely engrossed in the service of his beloved, so he has no time to even accept the respects of others. Okay, we're ending with this verse, and it's almost finished. It's very short. Prichate malata bahun apyashlishta vanaspate nunang tatkaraja sprishta bibhratyut pulakanyaho. Oh, Sakis, we should ask these creepers who are embracing the arms, the branches of their husband, this tree. They are bristling in rapture. Certainly, this is due to the touch of Krishna's fingernails. Ah, how fortunate they are. Śrīla Samaipad's Bhāvārtha Dīpikā. Some gopi said, Hey, Sakis, all these creepers have definitely met Śrī Kṛṣṇa. Just ask them. However, someone might object that if they are all embracing their husbands, then how will they meet Krishna? The answer is this. Alas, how fortunate they are that, even while in the arms of their husbands, they are being touched by Krishna's nails and are experiencing rapture. This does not happen from meeting with their husbands. Srila Jīva Gosvāmī's Vaiṣṇava Toṣaṇī. In the upcoming verse 10:30-27, the Vraj Devis asked, "Which damsel's footprints are these?" By this question, it is understood that these gopis did not pay attention to the words of Radhika's Swapaksha Sakis, spoken in the previous verse, Bahum Priyangsa. Sorry. So by this question, it is understood that these gopis did not pay attention to the words of Radhika's Swapaksha Sakis, spoken in the previous verse, Bahum Priyangsa, about Krishna and his beloved. If they had heard attentively, then they would have not had any doubt about the identity of the damsel's footprints. These gopis who were neutral to Radhika heard the words of the Sakis, but being neither attached to Radhika nor against her, they did not properly catch their meaning. Sri Shukadev Goswami was naturally consistent in showing the divergent moods among the different groups of Sakis. In this verse, starting with Prachatama, just ask, he expressed the neutral mood of the Tatastha gopis. These Vrajdevis said, "O Sakis, ask these creepers who have been blessed with the touch of Śrī Kṛṣṇa. But how is it possible that they have met with Krishna, since they are embracing the limbs of their husbands, the trees?" Discussing thus, the gopis finally concluded that Śrī Kṛṣṇa had definitely touched them with his nails on the pretext of plucking flowers. One might ask, "How do you know this?" In answer, they reply, "These creepers are horripilating in rapture, thus producing a profusion of newly sprouting tendrils. This is a sure sign that Śrī Kṛṣṇa has touched them without his nails. Ah, how extraordinary this is! This has not been seen before." Okay. Last paragraph. Śrīla Viśvanātha Cakravartī Thakur's Sārārtha Darśinī. One gopi said, "Prichata, just ask," showing some other signs of Krishna's presence to the gopis. "O Sakis, ask these creepers who have been blessed with Śrī Kṛṣṇa's touch." If they say that these creepers are embracing branches of their husband, the tree, then it is impossible for them to meet with Krishna. To this they replied, although they are in the embrace of their husband, Krishna has certainly touched them with his nails. We can see that, due to the rising of amorous desire, they are horripilating in rapture, as seen in the sprouting of new tendrils. This is surely resulting from the touch of the nails of the supremely blissful Śrī Kṛṣṇa, because such ecstatic symptoms are not possible in the association of their husband. Nor have we ever witnessed such symptoms in others before. So they cannot lie to us about others, saying what... Sorry. I started falling asleep there. They cannot lie to us like the others, saying that they have not seen Krishna. So tomorrow we will continue from this point. Hey, Parikshit, after these maddened gopis spoke incoherently while searching everywhere for Bhagavan Śrī Kṛṣṇa, they felt distressed and helpless due to the pain of separation. Their identification with the heart of Krishna became so intensified that they saw themselves as him and started acting out his pastimes. So we'll continue from that point starting tomorrow. Oops. Hare Krishna Kush Dingura. Sorry guys, I was falling asleep doing that whole time. I'm not sure if you noticed. But yeah, I didn't sleep very much last night. So, all right. Oh yeah, Mahamantra. Sorry guys, I'm really out of it right now. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Looks like we're nearly at the halfway point. I think tomorrow will probably be exactly halfway. Jai Shishi Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Shishi Radha Vinod Vihari Ju Ki Jai. Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju Ki Jai. Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupar Rashata Rashata Shishimar Bhaktivedanta Narayan Gosai Maharaj Shri Gurudev Ki Jai. Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupar Rashata Rashata Shishimar Bhaktivedanta Vaman Gosai Maharaj Ki Jai. Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupar Rashata Rashata Shishimar Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nitya Pravishtam Vishnupar Rashata Rashata Shishimar Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Gosai Maharaj Ki Jai. Nitya Pravishtam Vishnupar Rashata Rashata Shishimar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Gosai Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nitya Pravishta Maha Bhagavat Shila Gorksharas Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Nitya Pravishta Shila Satchidaranta Bhakti Vinod Ṭhākura Ki Jai. Nitya Pravishta Vaiṣṇava Sarvabhauma Shila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Rupano Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath, Shri Jīva Gopala Bhattadash Raghunath, Sharda Gosai Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari, Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda Ki Jai. Nama Chai Shri Haridas Ṭhākura Ki Jai. Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shri Vasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Kshetra Mandala Gaura Mandala Braja Mandala Mathura Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Sarva Abhishta Pradata Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Radha Kunda Shama Kund Ki Jai. Shri Yamuna Devi Ganga Devi Ki Jai. Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi Ki Jai. Shri Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Shri Purnamasi Yogamaya Ki Jai. Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev Ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Grantaraj Shrimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Shri Rāsa-pañcādhyayī Ki Jai. Sarvaraja Devi Gan Ki Jai. Raseshwari Shri Viśvanānandini Shrimati Radha Ṭhākurani Ki Jai. Rajendra Nandan Sham Sundar Shri Krishna Chandra Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Samagata Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Nitai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Gaur. Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavashacha Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi Sattvatai Namo Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevo Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat pranams, everybody. Thanks for tolerating my sleepiness. Prajumna Prabhu, have I... No, I don't know about any articles regarding Devi. Yeah, I mean, like there's parts of Dharma talking about Devi, Durga Devi, but can't think of anything. And well, that's really cool. Have you, Prajumna Prabhu, did you see his name? His devotional name is Bhrigupati Prabhu. Did you see his podcast with Namras, where he talks about Hari Bhakti Vilas? It's really interesting. I recommend it if you get a chance. All right, Dandavat Pranams, everybody. See you all tomorrow. Jai Shri Radhe.